All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Sarabjit Kaur. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate National Metrology Conclave today. Next round of talks between central government and farmer unions to be held this afternoon. Government says COVID-19 vaccines introduced in India will be as effective as developed by other countries. Medical experts welcome government's decision to approve 2 corona vaccines for emergency use in the country. Bird flu alert sounded in Rajasthan following confirmation of its virus in dead crows in Jhalawar district. Bihar government opens all educational institutions in the state from today. And Met Department forecast more rain in North India till tomorrow. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will deliver the inaugural address at National Metrology Conclave today through video conferencing. He will also dedicate National Atomic Timescale and Bharatiya Nirdeshak Dravya to the nation and lay the foundation stone of the National Environmental Standards Laboratory. Science and Technology Minister Dr. Harshvardhan will also be present on the occasion. More from our correspondent.
The National Atomic Timescale generates Indian Standard Time with an accuracy of 2.8 nanosecond. Bharatiya Nirdeshak Dravya is supporting testing and calibration of laboratories for quality assurance at par with international standards. The National Environmental Standards Laboratory will aid self-reliance in the certification of ambient air and industrial emission monitoring equipment. National Metrology Conclave 2021 is being organized by Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, National Physical Laboratory, New Delhi, which is entering into its 75th year of inception. The theme of the conclave is Metrology for the Inclusive Growth of the Nation. With Dibendra Kumar, Suparna Sekia, AIR News, Delhi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will dedicate the Kochi-Mangaluru natural gas pipeline to the nation at 11 a.m. tomorrow through video conferencing. The event marks an important milestone towards the creation of One Nation, One Gas Grid. The 450-kilometer-long pipeline has been built by GAIL India Limited. It has transportation capacity of 12 million metric standard cubic meters per day. It will carry natural gas from the liquefied natural gas regasification terminal at Kochi in Kerala to Mangaluru in Karnataka while passing through Ernakulam, Thrissur, Palakkad, Malappuram, Kozhikode, Kannur and Kasaragod districts. The total cost of the project was about 3,000 crore rupees and its construction created over 12 lakh man-days of employment. The government has said the COVID-19 vaccines introduced in India will be as effective as any vaccine developed by other countries. The Health Ministry has come out with a series of frequently asked questions about COVID-19 vaccine on various aspects. The ministry said various phases of vaccine trials are undertaken to ensure its safety and efficacy. The initial phase COVID vaccine will be provided to the selected priority groups as they are at higher risk. The first group will be vaccinated includes healthcare and frontline workers. The second group to receive COVID-19 vaccine will be persons over 50 years of age and persons under 50 years with comorbid conditions. The ministry has said that vaccination for COVID-19 is voluntary.
Medical experts have welcomed the government's decision to approve 2 coronavirus vaccines for emergency use in the country. All India Institute of Medical Sciences AIIMS Director Dr. Randeep Guleria has lauded the work done by Indian laboratories in making indigenous vaccines. He said the research has been done in the country and it's truly an Indian vaccine. Dr. Guleria said these vaccines are cost-effective and easy to administer as they can be stored at temperatures between 2 to 8 degrees Celsius.
The Government of India has selected priority groups who will be vaccinated based on risk factors. The first group will include healthcare workers and frontline workers. The second group that will receive the COVID-19 vaccine will be persons over the age of 50 years and persons under 50 years with comorbid conditions. It is advisable to take the complete vaccine schedule as far as COVID-19 is concerned because we want to protect ourselves and also protect our near and dear ones, our close contact, our family members and our co-workers.
Lieutenant General Ved Chaturvedi of Sir Gangaram Hospital, Delhi, has said that the corona vaccines approved by the government are fully safe.
जहां तक सेफ्टी की बात है, मैं देश को आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं, जो ट्रायल्स हुए हैं सभी वैक्सीन्स के, चारों वैक्सीन्स के, 2 इस कंट्री में नहीं है और 2 हमारे पास हैं। जहां तक सेफ्टी का इश्यू है, इसको देश को घबराना नहीं चाहिए। ये बिल्कुल सेफ वैक्सीन्स हैं कि जो ट्रायल्स में इन वैक्सीन्स को 50% से ज्यादा इफिकेशियस माना गया है। किसी भी वैक्सीन को यदि 50% से ज्यादा इफिकेसी है उस वैक्सीन की, तो उसके लिए हम यूज कर सकते हैं। तो ये तो करीब 60 to 70% इफेक्टिव हैं।
Head of the COVID Task Force and Niti Aayog member Dr. V.K. Paul said,
2 वैक्सीन का एसेंशियल होना, अधिक होना बहुत बड़ी उपलब्धि है देश के लिए, बहुत गर्व का दिन है। और जो कोरोना के खिलाफ हमारी लड़ाई है, पेंडेमिक है, उसको अल्टीमेटली रोक के खत्म करने के लिए बहुत बड़ा कदम आज सामने है। हमें ये लेकर चलना है कि दोनों वैक्सीन में जो परमिशन मिली है वो इमरजेंसी यूज की जो मिली है, और उसमें थोड़ा फर्क है। जो सीरम वैक्सीन को विशील्ड है उसके बारे में साधारण कंडीशंस हैं जो कि हम इमरजेंसी यूज में लेते हैं।
Dr. Naresh Tehran of Medanta Medicity has said that the vaccine will be fully effective after its 2 dosages.
तो पहला डोज जो होगा वैक्सीन का वो स्टिमुलेट करेगा इम्यून सिस्टम को, और इस यू कैन से कि इट्स लाइक अ टीजर, पर उसकी फुल इफेक्टिवनेस के लिए एक सेकंड डोज एज अ बूस्टर लगता है। जो बूस्टर डोज दिया जाता है उसके बाद कैसे बनती है और कितनी स्ट्रांग बनती है। तो ट्रायल से ये पक्का पता लग गया कि ये 2 डोज की वैक्सीन है। दूसरा डोज बहुत जरूरी है टू गेट द फुल इम्यूनिटी। कुछ हाफ इम्यूनिटी हो सकता है कि डेवलप हो जाए पहले डोज से, बट उसको बूस्ट करने से द इम्यून सिस्टम विल मैन्युफैक्चर इनफ एंटीबॉडीज, स्पेसिफिक एंटीबॉडीज के एक शख्स को जिसको लगी है उनकी पूरी इम्यूनिटी बने।
The World Health Organization has welcomed India's decision to allow the use of 2 COVID-19 vaccines. Its regional director, Dr. Poonam Khetrapal Singh, said, WHO welcomes the first emergency use authorization given to COVID-19 vaccine in the WHO Southeast Asia region. It will help intensify and strengthen the fight against COVID-19 pandemic in the region. ICMR DG Dr. Balram Bhargav said,
ये वैक्सीन जो हमारे पास दोनों अप्रूव कर रहे हैं ड्रग कंट्रोलर ने, और साइंटिफिक डेटा के बेसिस पे 8-8 घंटे बैठ के और फिर DCGI ने इसका अप्रूवल दिया है, तो ये तो बहुत ही अहम बात है भारत के लिए भी और पूरे विश्व के लिए, क्योंकि हमारे पास इसमें बहुत डोजेस की स्टॉक पाइल भी है और भारत के अलावा और लो मिडिल इनकम कंट्रीज के लिए भी एक बहुत ही होप है और इंडिया का रोल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहेगा। ये इमरजेंसी यूज ऑथराइजेशन ये कह रहा है कि दोनों वैक्सीन में इमरजेंसी में यूज कर सकते हैं। इसमें जो भारत बायोटेक वाला वैक्सीन है वो क्लिनिकल ट्रायल अभी चलता रहेगा और रोलिंग रिव्यूज का चलता रहेगा, और ये साइंटिफिक नॉलेज की बेसिस पे किया गया है।
Drugs Controller General of India, DCGI, has given its approval for restricted use of 2 COVID-19 vaccines, Serum Institute of India's Covishield and Bharat Biotech's Covaxin, in emergency situation. The announcement for granting permission to these 2 vaccines was made by the Drug Controller General of India, V.G. Somani, during a press conference yesterday.
The subject expert committee of Central Drug Standard Control Organization met on 1st and 2nd January 2021 and made recommendations in respect of proposal for restricted emergency approval of COVID-19 virus vaccine of Serum Institute of India and Messrs. Bharat Biotech, as well as Phase 3 clinical trial of Messrs. Cadila Healthcare Limited.
Traders in Uttar Pradesh Sambhal district have demanded that they be given COVID-19 vaccine shots on a priority basis. The demand was raised at a meeting of the Federation of All India Vyapar Mandal yesterday. Traders' body said they risked their lives during the pandemic while making essential commodities available to the public. They have expressed their gratitude to the scientists who developed the vaccine. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the grant of approval by DCGI to the vaccines of Serum Institute of India and Bharat Biotech accelerates the road to a healthier and COVID-free nation. Congratulating the nation and the hard-working scientists and innovators of the country, Mr. Modi said in a tweet that it is a turning point to strengthen the spirited fight. He said it would make every Indian proud that the two vaccines that have been given emergency use approval are made in India. The Prime Minister said that this shows the eagerness of our scientific community to fulfill the dream of an Atmanirbhar Bharat, at the root of which lies care and compassion.
The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has reached 96.16%. A total of 20,963 COVID patients recovered in the last 24 hours. According to the Health Ministry, the total number of recoveries has gone up to 99,27,310. The actual caseload currently comprises only 2.39% of the total positive cases. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is 2,47,220. A total of 424 new confirmed cases of coronavirus infection were reported in Delhi during the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to over 6,26,000. The Delhi government said that over 6,11,000 people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far.
In Madhya Pradesh, more than 2,31,533 patients have recovered so far. 947 patients were also discharged from the hospital in the past 24 hours. More details on this from our Bhopal correspondent.
As per the State Health Bulletin, 724 new cases were reported yesterday. As a result, the number of COVID-19 cases in the state has reached to more than 2,44,000. With 14 patients succumbing to the infection, the death toll rose to 3,641. There are now 8,852 active cases in Madhya Pradesh. On the other hand, except the COVID care centers located in Bhopal, the state government has decided to close the COVID care centers set up in other districts of the state. Dr. Veena Sinha, Joint Director Health and Nodal Officer of COVID-19 arrangements, informed that due to the very less number of people reaching the district COVID care centers, these centers are almost empty. She further informed that apart from these COVID care centers, there are adequate arrangements for the treatment of corona infections in the district headquarters. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
The Gujarat government has spent 1,000 crore rupees over the free treatment of COVID-19 patients in the state till now. Talking to media persons, Deputy Chief Minister Nitin Patel said that the state government has provided free treatment, free medicines and free injections to the COVID-19 patients in the state. He said that the state government will ensure that the poor and middle-class people are vaccinated without any financial burden. AIR Ahmedabad correspondent reports that Gujarat has recorded 715 new cases of COVID-19 during the last 24 hours.
According to the State Health Department, the recovery rate further improved to 94.51%. The total number of COVID-19 cases detected so far in Gujarat has reached up to 2,47,228. More than 98,10,000 tests have been carried out in the state till date. Maximum 151 new cases reported from Ahmedabad, while Surat recorded 127 new cases. At present, total active cases in the state are 9,250, out of which 61 patients are on ventilator. 4 patients died yesterday. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
Karnataka reported 810 new COVID-19 positive cases during the last 24 hours. At the same time, 743 people cured from the disease and discharged from hospitals. 10,893 active patients are taking treatment in various hospitals in the state. Among them, 186 are in the ICU. 8 COVID patients lost their life and the total fatalities have increased to 12,107. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has warned that restrictions in England are probably about to get tougher to curb rising COVID infections. He said stronger measures may be required in parts of the country in the coming weeks. He said the situation will be better by the spring as more people are vaccinated in the next 3 months. Mr. Johnson defended plans for primary schools to reopen in most of England today. He said that schools are safe and urged parents to send their children back into the classroom in areas of England where they can. UK has recorded more than 50,000 new confirmed COVID cases for the 6th day in a row, with 54,990 announced yesterday. In our special series Year-Ender 2020, today we bring you a report on initiatives by the Civil Aviation Ministry for affordable regional connectivity. The government took a number of initiatives in 2020 for the aviation sector. In January last year, the fuel throughput charge was rationalized. The proposal to bring air turbine fuel under the ambit of GST is before the GST Council, which has representation from the states as well. Our correspondent takes a look at the initiatives, including UDAN scheme, which was launched for affordable regional connectivity, and how they proved to be a great help during the pandemic.
When the country was fighting the COVID pandemic unitedly, Lifeline UDAN proved to be the real lifeline of the country. It transported experts and equipment to every corner of the country. About 600 flights flew more than 5 lakh kilometers and transported about 1,000 tons of essential cargo. They delivered testing kits and medical equipment to remotest locations. Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri says the comprehensive measures which Prime Minister Narendra Modi took have saved the country from suffering the consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic.
It's only a country which has its systems in place, which has clear, decisive political decision-making and direction, and where you were able to ensure that from PPE masks, from PPE kits, masks, ventilators, which were in very short supply or not possible, we not only transported them to all parts of the country, but if I may also add, we ramped up our own production.
A total of 766 routes were awarded after 4 rounds of bidding under UDAN, out of which more than 284 routes have been operationalized, connecting 105 airports. Northeastern region, hilly states and islands have been given priority in the approval process for the new routes. 50 UDAN airports were developed and operationalized in 3 years as against 76 airports before. Over 48 lakh passengers have already been benefited from the scheme. 30 states and UTs have signed MOUs as partners in the scheme and offered concessions and incentives. UDAN scheme has established the importance of travelling by air for the common man, especially to far-flung areas, because distances are immaterial if wings have power. With Suparna Saikia, Naseem Naqvi, AIR News, New Delhi.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate National Metrology Conclave today. Next round of talks between central government and farmer unions to be held this afternoon. Government says COVID-19 vaccines introduced in India will be as effective as developed by other countries. Medical experts welcome government's decision to approve 2 corona vaccines for emergency use in the country. Bird flu alert sounded in Rajasthan following confirmation of its virus in dead crows in Jhalawar district. Bihar government opens all educational institutions in the state from today. And Met Department forecast more rain in North India till tomorrow.
The next round of talks between the central government and the farmer unions will be held in New Delhi today. Earlier, 6th round of talks between the government and the farmer unions was held on 30th of last month. During the meeting, Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar had assured the farmer leaders that government is committed to solving their problems and both sides need to take steps forward to arrive at an amicable solution. He said consensus on 2 out of 4 issues was reached during the meeting. Mr. Tomar said the first issue was an ordinance related to the environment and the second was on Electricity Act. Mr. Tomar had assured the farmer unions that MSP and the Mandi system will continue like before.
हम लोगों ने अपने तर्कों से उनको यह बताने की कोशिश की कि किसान की कठिनाई कहाँ है और जहाँ कठिनाई है वहाँ खुले मन से सरकार विचार करने को तैयार है। इसी प्रकार से एमएसपी के विषय में भी सरकार पहले ही ये कहती रही है कि एमएसपी जारी है, जारी रहेगी। पिछले बार जब हमने प्रस्ताव दिए थे उस समय भी हमने ये कहा था कि एमएसपी जारी रहेगी, ये लिखित में सरकार देने को तैयार है। हम उस पर अभी भी दृढ़ हैं, लेकिन उन्हें ऐसा लगता है कि एमएसपी को कानूनी दर्जा मिलना चाहिए। तो कानून के विषय में और एमएसपी के विषय में चर्चा अभी पूर्ण नहीं हुई है, चर्चा जारी है और हम लोग 4 तारीख को 2 बजे फिर से इकट्ठा होंगे और इन विषयों पर चर्चा को आगे बढ़ाएंगे।
The government has said more than 64 lakh paddy farmers have been benefited from current Kharif marketing season procurement operations with minimum support price or MSP value of over 94,000 crore rupees. Agriculture Ministry said government continues to procure Kharif crops at its minimum support price from farmers as per its existing MSP schemes. Around 499 lakh tons of paddy have been procured from Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, Uttarakhand, Tamil Nadu, Chandigarh, Jammu and Kashmir, Kerala, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Bihar, Jharkhand, Assam and West Bengal.
A bird flu alert has been sounded in Rajasthan after the confirmation of its virus in dead crows in Jhalawar districts. Animal Husbandry Department has set up a state-level control room and sent its teams to the districts for effective monitoring. Yesterday, 7 crows were found dead at the iconic Jal Mahal in Jaipur, taking the toll to 252 in the state. Principal Secretary Animal Husbandry Kunji Lal Meena said that the deaths due to the bird flu have been mainly reported among crows, with most of them from Kota and Jodhpur divisions. He said the virus is dangerous and necessary guidelines have been issued. All field officers and poultry farm owners have been asked to remain vigilant. Effective monitoring is ensured at all sites, especially in wetlands, Sambar Lake and Kaila Devi Bird Sanctuary. Mr. Meena said the crow deaths were reported on December 25th in Jhalawar. Their samples were sent to the National Institute of High Security Animal Diseases in Bhopal and the bird flu virus was detected. So far, the death of 100 crows has been reported from Jhalawar, 72 from Bara, 47 from Kota, 19 from Pali, 7 from Jodhpur and 7 from Jaipur. In Bihar, all educational institutions will be opened from today with strict compliance of COVID protocols. Schools from class 9th onwards, colleges and coaching institutes are permitted to allow only 50% of students. These institutions were facing closure from March last year due to the corona pandemic. They have been asked to call students in batches on alternative days. Principal Secretary Education Sanjay Kumar said students will be allowed to attend the physical classes only after the written consent of their parents or guardians. The educational institutions have to make arrangements for online classes for those who do not wish to attend the physical classes. The government has also released preventive measures to contain the spread of COVID-19 in all government and private schools and higher educational institutions.
In Odisha, colleges and universities are set to reopen from the 11th of this month. This follows the government's decision to allow the schools to start conducting physical classes for students of class 10th and 12th from the 8th of this month. More from our Odisha correspondent.
Even as COVID-19 continues to contract in Odisha, the state government have allowed all state public universities, government and private colleges to start conducting physical classes for the students of the final year of the undergraduate and postgraduate courses during the fag end of the ongoing academic year. While the final year exams have been decided to be conducted in coming June, the government have asked the state private universities to consider reopening classes for their students. All educational institutions have been asked to synchronize their functioning with the standard operating procedures on COVID-19 that includes even minute precautionary measures such as respiratory etiquette. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to BCCI President Sourav Ganguly and wished him speedy recovery. Mr. Modi spoke to Ganguly and his wife Dona over the phone yesterday and wished him a fast recovery. Wishes have been pouring in from all corners for the former Indian captain. Sourav Ganguly is currently undergoing treatment after suffering a mild heart attack on Saturday. Ganguly's condition is stable after angioplasty and is recovering well at a private hospital in Kolkata. The BCCI president also underwent a COVID test yesterday and tested negative for the same. The India Meteorological Department has said that North India is likely to witness an intense wet spell till tomorrow with a fairly widespread precipitation accompanied with thunderstorm, lightning and hailstorm at isolated places. The IMD predicted that the activities will peak today over the plains of Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi, West Uttar Pradesh and North Rajasthan and over the western Himalayan region, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Gilgit, Muzaffarabad, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. The Met Department said after the wet spell, fresh northerly northwesterly winds are likely to set in over the plains of northwest India, causing severe cold wave conditions at isolated places over Punjab, Haryana and North Rajasthan from Thursday onwards. An active western disturbance lies as a middle and upper level cyclonic circulation over central Pakistan and neighbourhood, with its induced cyclonic circulation over southwest Rajasthan and neighbourhood at lower levels.
In 2020, digital channels of Prasar Bharati across Doordarshan and Akashvani have registered more than 100% growth, clocking over 1 billion digital views and over 6 billion digital watch minutes. In a statement, Information and Broadcasting Ministry said during 2020, News on AIR app added more than 25 lakh users, with the platform registering over 300 million views, with live video streaming featuring over 200 streams being most popular feature. DD Sports and Akashvani Sports have created a steady digital following, with live commentary. Prasar Bharati Archives and DD Kisan have been steady digital performers featuring in top 10. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital may witness thunderstorm with hail. The temperature will vary between 10 and 18 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have partly cloudy sky. Temperature will vary between 18 and 29 degrees Celsius. Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will hover between 25 and 29 degrees Celsius. Kolkata witnessed fog in the morning and will have mainly clear sky later. The city observed a minimum temperature of 14 degrees Celsius, while the maximum temperature could reach 27 degrees. Srinagar is likely to experience light snow. Temperature will hover between -1 and 3 degrees. In Jammu, the minimum temperature was 9 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 10 degrees. The city is likely to witness thunderstorm with rain. Leh will have generally cloudy sky. The minimum temperature was -13 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be -3 degrees. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky. The temperature will hover between -4 degrees to 8 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have generally cloudy sky with light rain, and temperature will move between 2 to 15 degrees Celsius. In Dehradun, the temperature will hover between 9 and 19 degrees Celsius. The city may witness thunderstorm with rain. Chandigarh will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thundershowers.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. India could roll out world's largest vaccination drive against COVID-19 in about 10 days as Oxford Bharat Biotech vaccines cleared for use is a top front page headline in the Hindustan Times. The Asian Age, quoting the Prime Minister, writes, "Vaccine nod is a decisive turning point in COVID fight." On the Covaxin backup, the Indian Express quotes the ICMR saying, "Whole virus vaccine may be more effective against the new strain." Government ropes in IT department to crack down on GST fraud, reports the Hindu. The number of new investors opening demat accounts more than doubles from 4.8 million in 2019, observes the Economic Times under the headline, "Booming markets attract over 10 million to make street debut." A Times of India survey says life sciences top draw for talent, emerging as the most preferential sector that is predicted to attract talent for the first time ahead of IT and FMCG. And finally, a story under the headline, "Alapura, world's capital in ivory artifacts in the pioneer states, the Venice of the East, Alapura to be a popular tourist destination, also being home to world's largest artworks."
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate National Metrology Conclave today. Next round of talks between central government and farmer unions to be held this afternoon. Government says COVID-19 vaccines introduced in India will be as effective as developed by other countries. Medical experts welcome government's decision to approve 2 corona vaccines for emergency use in the country. Bird flu alert sounded in Rajasthan following confirmation of its virus in dead crows in Jhalawar district. Bihar government opens all educational institutions in the state from today. And Met Department forecast more rain in North India till tomorrow. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.